Hey you guys, I hope you're doing well. I often don't make videos because I know that this content is already out there on YouTube and 1,000 different iterations. But today I was in the middle of a project and I just decided that I'm gonna push through that barrier I have and show you guys how to propagate pineapple, because it's another fruit that we can grow in Houston, and there are a few things that you need to do, and it's a fruit that you can get from the grocery store because you're already buying it to eat. So here's some pineapple I grabbed, and I grabbed these because they were on clearance, and they were on clearance I think because they had already started growing such big tops. So like if you see on this one I grabbed, they actually have ripped out a bunch of the leaves. That top was probably twice as big, full of leaves, and that's not sellable, right? Food waste conversation there. So I wanted to see if I could grow them, and they were 77 cents a piece, which is pretty good for pineapple. So as you can see, I ripped the top off. So if you're propagating pineapple, let me put the camera. Alright, if you're propagating pineapple, you just want to take off the top and not have any fruit attached. So you just rip it. And that's just because the fruit is going to rot. The roots are going to come out. So this is like a stem cutting. The roots are going to come out at the base of these leaves. So where the leaf scar is, you'll see these little brown dots. And another thing to look for if you really are trying to grow pineapple is look for fruit in the grocery store that have already developing roots. Sometimes these points will have already a little like 1-inch long root sticking out. And you can see that even sticking out from the base of it. So that'll just root even better, even faster. So you want to remove these leaves because they're going to just get in the way of the roots getting down into the soil that you're going to put it in. And you need to put it in a very well-drained soil. That's the other reason. Here's a pretty developed root you can see. I mean, some are much more than this, but see that little thing right there? That's the root. But anyway, so really well drained. They're really susceptible to rot, and so you want it almost like straight sand or a composty sand, and then you remove these leaves. Now, pineapple, growing them successfully, probably the biggest thing is they're so temperature dependent. So pineapple is a bromeliad, and bromeliads are designed to grow in these really harsh environments, up in trees, you know, without soil, or for pineapple on this volcanic lava field. And so they are not very well adapted to change. They do live in their harsh environment, but like drastic changes in light, drastic changes in moisture, things like that, they're very niche oriented. So pineapple, if you want to grow it successfully, you have to be able to provide the heat. So I'll take you outside and show you how I get them started. Now, if you don't have a hothouse to get your cuttings going and growing quickly, then you want to try and grow your pineapple from the grocery store during the summer. You know, wait till then, because pineapple are pretty much available year-round, and that's when your cutting is going to take much better than if you tried to do it in cooler weather at all. So wait for the warm weather. Pineapple are severely stressed if the temperature drops into like low 40s. So not even freeze, like they can be damaged at 40 degrees, and so trying to keep them warm through the winter, I usually bring them inside completely, and that's just, it's more important to keep them warm than to keep them in the sun. They can grow really well in part sun to shade as long as it's kind of consistent. They're adapted to it. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to get a big fruit. The fruit will be a lot smaller, but just you can still grow it. So it's a plant that I've seen growing really happily along in shade, which is kind of cool. But if you want fruit, you want to put it in the hottest, fullest sun you possibly can, as long as it can adapt and grow there. Alright, so I've got 2 cuttings, and one last thing I wanted to add is that you do want to check the top, because that part can rot out pretty easily. Just give a gentle tug on the leaves and make sure that they stay in. So just something like that. All right, I'm gonna get these two into pots and we're gonna see how they grow. I'm here in the greenhouse and I'm putting the pineapple in their pots. I made a mix that's about 50-50 perlite and compost, and that's more care than I usually give, but that's for really good drainage, and I'm just gonna tuck them in. The real trick here, the real key, is keeping them really warm, and so this greenhouse stays nice and toasty with that heater there. So it's fully sealed, and we're actually in spring, so it's starting to heat up even more during the day. So probably it's like 80s, 90s at night, and up to like 100, maybe even 110 on the warmer days. That's got a thermostat, but on a warmer day, if the sun is hitting it especially, it'll heat up really fast. So everything in here is handling the heat, and it's nice to be able to push buds on citrus and things like that. So there's, yeah, you can see the citrus in here is already flowering because it's had some warmth. And cool plants, you guys know curry, Mariah, Carnegie. This is wax jambu. There's a tea tree right there. The one that defoliated is an Adamoya that dried out. It actually it's got leafing out on top, but you know, it's just part of my tropical collection. But anyway, they're going to be tucked in here. The rat pressure is pretty high, so barring the rats doing some damage to them, they're not getting a lot of light. This is pretty low light level, but they are going to be warm, and I am going to give them, water them in, and then just let them sit. So we shall see. All right, you guys, I'm here in the sun porch with the tomato plants and some of the other tropicals that get to hang out here for the winter. And this is where I have a couple of other pineapples stashed away. So this is what those cuttings, those tops, will look like in about 4 months, because this is a cutting from August, September, well, sometime in the fall. I'm not actually sure, I remember. But they get strong like this. You want to get them out in full sun. The pineapple comes out of the center, and it's going to then die. So it puts all of its energy into that bloom, and if the plant is strong enough, it'll be an offshoot. So all of the rosette of leaves that make the fruit are then going to be lost. So you kind of can expect that to go away, and then off to the side or right near the base, that's where it's going to make a new branch if your pineapple plant is happy enough to keep going. So I think it takes about a year if they're really happy and going fast to go from a cutting to being able to fruit. If I do get a pineapple, I'll make sure and show you guys in the future. And in case you're wondering what else I got that I'm excited about, I bought a Arizona avocado, so Aravaipa. If you follow the Jake Mace crew out there, I got Don Juan, and that's going to go out at the property. And then Datura, Jaboticaba. This is a brush cherry, which has been a really great one, and producing fruit, and it's in flower right now. It's one of the syzygiums, and I don't know, that's about it. Dharma here is making some noise, and yeah, I'll catch y'all later.